What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Life with LAM, where we talk about how to make small changes that have big impacts. Today we're going to be talking about how to find a job you love. So if you're trying to decide what career to go into, or you feel stuck in a job that you hate, then this is the video for you. And at the end of the video, we'll be going over some quick tips on how to make sure that your next job is one that you'll be excited to go to every day. Sound good? Let's go. I'm sure you've heard the saying, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Now, I'm a guy who likes to work. I find a lot of value in getting things done. But even I can see the truth in this quote. And I don't mean to brag, but I really hit the jackpot with my job. I'm in my 9th year of teaching, and I very honestly can't imagine doing anything else as a career. I go into work every day and I'm excited to see my kids, and I'm pumped to teach them science. And on those days where one of my kids needs someone to talk to, or even just somebody to listen, I feel both blessed that they would place that trust in me, and also just so happy that I get the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life every day. And on top of that, teaching has provided me with so many opportunities, along with a schedule that allows me to take advantage of those opportunities. I got my first big coaching break through teaching, which led to jobs with university teams, provincial teams, even national teams. The diversity in skill sets and interests among teachers I've met have allowed me to connect with people who specialize in music, which eventually led to me joining an a cappella group, as well as people in technology, who have really helped me with my journey into YouTube. But most importantly, teaching gave me my first real taste of working with kids and young adults, teaching them about growth mindset and having a positive attitude, and that gives me true joy in life. Now, typically around university application time, my kids come up and ask me when I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. The simple answer is that I've pretty much always wanted to be a teacher. But you didn't come here for simple, so let's go way back. Story time. A long time ago, when I was helping my mom clean out her basement, I found one of those old kindergarten "what do you want to be when you grow up" worksheets. On it, I had drawn a big stick figure, that was me, and a bunch of little stick figures. And underneath my drawing, I wrote, Dad, which I think is a testament to how wonderful my parents are. So I guess the first job that I really wanted was to be a parent, which is still true to this day. I love teaching, but nothing would make me happier than being a father. After that, I went through a couple of different career ideas. The first career I can remember after being a dad was being a Power Ranger, specifically the red one. I also wanted to be a singer, but not just any singer. I wanted to be a Backstreet Boy. And it's really too bad that that didn't work out, because it's 26 years later and they're still performing. At some point, I thought that being an actor would be really cool, and I had set a goal to be the first ever Asian James Bond. I even had a whole storyline planned out where I was the secret love child of the original James Bond and a Chinese assassin/spy. See, even when I was young, when I wanted something, I wanted to be at the very top. Or at least what I thought was the top. Not everyone is a Red Ranger BSB 007 fan. But okay, those jobs probably aren't the jobs that you want to know about. So here it is. Starting pretty early in high school, there were only 2 careers that I was really interested in pursuing. The first one, of course, was high school teacher, and the second one was pediatric surgeon. To be clear, neither of them was my backup plan. I just wasn't sure which one was perfect for me yet. Now, when I tell my kids about wanting to be a teacher or a surgeon, they all ask the same question. Why didn't you become a surgeon? And that answer is pretty easy. The summer after my first year of university, I had the amazing opportunity to volunteer in the emergency department of... Actually, I'm not sure what the policies are for name-dropping hospitals on YouTube, so I'm just gonna say that it was a pretty famous pediatric hospital. Anyway, as rewarding as that experience was, it was also a very clear message that I didn't have what it takes to be a pediatric surgeon. Now let's be clear, this is not me talking down about myself. I don't really do that kind of thing. To this day, I still have absolutely no doubt that I had the smarts, the skills, and the work ethic to be a top-notch surgeon. But emotionally, I was a wreck. I just didn't want to deal with the fact that as a surgeon, there were going to be some diseases that I wouldn't be able to cure. That there would be kids that I wouldn't be able to save. That summer, I went in every day and I worked with kids knowing that there was a decent chance that they wouldn't be there tomorrow. And even as just a volunteer, it broke me. I went home every night feeling completely emotionally drained. So I finished out my volunteer commitment for the summer. I did the absolute best job that I could, and I never looked back. The biggest thing that I took from that experience, and the thing that I try to get my students to understand, is that no matter how much you think you like a job, no matter what you've heard or what you've seen on TV, you have to try it yourself. Volunteer or job shadow or whatever as soon as you can so that you can get a taste for the job. And if you love it, that's great. That confirmation should keep you motivated as you get the training necessary to enter that career. But if you find that it's not for you, that's also great. Better to know now before you spend however many years and however many tens of thousands of dollars on schooling. Now, the next thing my kids typically bring up is how weird it is that I chose such different careers to pursue. I always think that's kind of funny because to me, they're not so different at all. See, I think a lot of people get caught up in the title of a job. People want to be a lawyer, a firefighter, an astronaut, whatever. People hear teacher and surgeon and they sound like different jobs. We've been trained to value certain titles more than others, or to fixate on the prestige of a certain job because it's what society values. But what do you value? I mean, sure, maybe becoming an engineer will make your parents proud, but will it make you happy? Will it give you fulfillment? I think that most people who hate their jobs hate them because they chose them for the wrong reason. Maybe they chose it to appease their parents or their partner. Maybe they chose it without really consulting their priorities, or they let societal pressures influence what their priorities were. Or maybe it was just the only job available at the time. If you want to be happy in a job, that job has to allow you to do things that make you happy. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but I think that we forget that sometimes. For me, I've always wanted the same things out of my career. I wanted to work with kids, I wanted to help people, and I wanted to be a positive influence. Being a teacher and being a pediatric surgeon, they both fit that bill, so to me, they're essentially the same job. Now that I think about it, being a good dad is pretty much the same too, so way to go, kindergarten me. I chose jobs that fit what I wanted out of life instead of trying to fit my life into a certain job. And of course, there are differences between being a teacher and being a surgeon. For one, the money. But I've never been one to live a very lavish lifestyle, so the difference in salary didn't really impact my decision making. It just wasn't a priority for me. The year after my summer at the hospital, I started volunteering at my old high school, helping out in the classroom, doing some marking and some coaching. And it really confirmed for me that I got the same sense of joy helping kids in a school setting as I did in the hospital. Just minus the heartache. And I was not willing to deal with the heartache. Remember, being a dad is what I truly want the most out of life. So being able to go home happy and being a beacon of positivity for my children is the most important thing. When it came time to apply to Teachers College, I did so with complete confidence. I knew that I would love teaching because I knew it would check all of my boxes and I had the experience to prove it. I have never once had to wonder if my life would be better if I had become a surgeon. So okay, I get it. Societal pressures can really push people into jobs that they don't actually want. So how do I find a job that I love? Well, I'm glad you asked. Tip number 1, make a list of must-haves. Whether it's financial or emotional, what are some things that you need your job to have? Try to take into account as many criteria as possible. What type of work are you interested in? What kind of people do you want to work with? What type of workplace do you prefer? What is the minimum salary that you would be happy with? How much stress are you willing to deal with on a daily basis? These are all questions that will help you narrow down your job list and rank those must-haves. For me, emotional well-being far outranks salary, which made choosing teaching over surgery easy. But be careful. Make sure whatever your priorities are now, that you don't look back and regret it. Make sure your priorities are your priorities and not a means to impress other people. Tip number 2, get exposure. Any and all experience is good. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. You might have to take a bit of a financial hit and do some unpaid volunteer work. You can't always get paid when you're trying to figure it all out, but it's worth it. Dip your toe in the water. Make sure that job is everything that you think it is. Try to job shadow as many different people as you can so that you can see the job from different angles and get different points of view. Don't hide from the negative experiences. Use them to inform your future decisions. Tip number 3, start small. Sometimes we like to think that we're gonna jump into our dream job on day 1. And for some of us, that happens, and that's great. But for most of us, our dream job is something that we have to work up to. Don't turn down opportunities that could lead to your dream job just because they're not shiny and exciting. It's easy to fixate on all the ways that your stepping stone gigs aren't perfect. But what you should really be focusing on is how all of these experiences can add up and get you where you want to go. So there you have it, how to find a job you love. In the comments below, let me know what you think of this video. Tell me what you're looking for in a dream job and the steps you're taking towards getting it. And if you've got any tips of your own for landing your dream job, please feel free to share them. As always, I really hope you gained something from this video. And if you want to support this channel, then please hit those like and subscribe buttons. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell because we'll be dropping a new episode of Life with LAM every Wednesday. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be good, and let's make today an awesome day. Take care.